I'm Mike Darda.
And I'm Andrew Darda. And together, we're the founding agents for the Compass Real Estate Office in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and the Beaches.
With over 31 years experience selling real estate right here in Southwest Florida, we've had the privilege of helping over 4,000 families buy or sell their slice of sunshine. All right, I'm Mike Darda and Andrew Darda.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are, the Darda Group, and we're Southwest Florida realtors now for 38 years. So we've seen the ups and downs over the years, and here we are in February of 2025. So what are your thoughts on the market right now as we get this new year and a season kicked off here?
Well, yeah, I mean, 2024 flew by. 2025, I mean, it's a market. So it's the market we have. And for better or for worse, we're starting off 2025 a little bit better than we were at the tail end of 2024. So a sign that season has begun.
Yeah, definitely season's here. That's a good sign. We saw an 18% bump in sales last year and in season over the summer months. So it's definitely a great time of year to sell a home. Although we got some headwinds, right? We have recent market statistics came out for January showing an increase in inventory of 30% and a decrease in the number of buyers buying real estate year over year of 18%. And in fact, showing that we have over a year supply of homes on the market right now if nobody lists another home for sale. That's how long it would take to sell all the houses on the market.
Not great news for a seller, right? But I mean, if you're a buyer, I mean, this is like a buffet.
Oh yeah, if you're a buyer, you're loving it, right? You've got a great selection of homes, and you've got motivated sellers that are willing to work with you on offers.
Yeah, great time to be a buyer. You know, and I think every market has its seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we all can look back not too long ago, a couple of years ago. I mean, sellers were eating it up, and now buyers get to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is probably what, would you say it's healthy for the market?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly resulting in more affordability, right? Because we're seeing more price reductions than we've seen in years. A recent study just came out that showed of all the cities in the United States, actually, the Cape Coral Fort Myers market was the #2 city for the most price reductions in the U.S. Our neighbor just to the north, Punta Gorda, was #1. And if you look at #3, that was the Sarasota, Bradenton, Northport market. And then #4 was Naples. So it's pretty much the whole Gulf Coast is being impacted with high inventory and price reductions. Why is that happening?
You know, my guess would be we've been the lucky recipients of 3 hurricanes over the course of 2 to 3 years. And, you know, we've been able to avoid them for a while, but it does seem like lately we had Ian and then Helene and Milton here recently, so I don't think that helps. We've already kind of had that post-COVID market, and you know, we've got interest rates. So when you talk about headwinds, I mean, I think those are a couple ones that we're going right into.
Yeah, pretty much if you look at when rates started going up a few years ago, that's pretty much what stopped this appreciation that everyone was enjoying. So rates is definitely the #1 thing to watch when it comes to, you know, prices and the market. And speaking of interest rates, I mean, where do you think they're going to go this year? We were told, oh, they're going to get lower in 2025. Now they're telling us maybe not so much. What do you think?
I think it all rests on the new administration, perhaps, but also inflationary data. As long as we're still battling the inflationary data, the Fed's going to keep the rates, you know, somewhat status quo. And I think all eyes were on the Fed just a week ago, and you know, since filming this in January, and you know, they kept things the way they are, and they're not promising too many rate cuts this year. So I don't think we can look at that and say that's going to be our ticket out of here. If they keep the rates relatively the same, or they only reduce them once or twice like they're thinking, we're probably going to have a repeat, I think, in 2025, as we did a repeat of 2024, if that makes sense. So, you know, I'm not expecting any big changes, but yeah, everybody's got an opinion on that.
Yeah, there was a study done by U.S. News that said 2/3 of buyers are waiting for 6% or lower rates to buy a home.
Right.
And right now, it doesn't look like we're going to see that this year, 2025. They're saying maybe hang out in the mid 6% range, pretty much more of what we've been seeing all of this year.
Well, I think even for myself and what we go through, I'm in real estate, my wife's in real estate, we talk about, should we, because we're not in our forever home,
Mm-hmm.
should we go out and should we buy the home that we want, or just stay put and renovate the home that we have and change a few things we don't like about our home any longer? And we go towards renovating because of the rates.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now, I think we are, and a lot of people are in sub 5 or sub 3% interest rates. I mean, are you going to leave that, buy a more expensive home, presumably, and jump into a 6 or a 7% rate? I mean, no. Now, if the rates were to get below 6 or even at or below 5, I mean, you might risk it a little bit. You might leave that 3% rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just speaking from my experience. So
Yeah, well, they say it'll just take time because people will have to sell regardless, right? There's life events, people get job transfers, people have to sell due to upsizing, downsizing, life issues. So when it comes to interest rates too, I've been hearing from some folks who are like, okay, hey, it's good to be a buyer right now. Like we just said, I can get a decent deal on a home. I can buy it for less than I could have bought it a few years ago. So some people are going ahead and pulling the trigger and buying that home, just thinking they'll refinance once the rates go down.
yeah, I mean, what's that? There's a saying among realtors and lenders alike. It was like date the rate and marry the home. So I mean, if you like the house, I mean, lock it in, put a ring on it. But I mean, you can always refi later. We know they will come down at some point. It's just, is it going to be a little bit this year? Is it going to be more like next year? But if you like the right house, you find the one, buy it.
Well, one thing a lot of buyers are talking about right now is insurance. I mean, insurance in the state of Florida has increased 60% from 2019 through 2023. What would you say to a buyer that says, hey, should I buy in Florida right now, or and because insurance is so expensive?
I mean, I think if you're asking that question,
Mm-hmm.
And you can afford it, because it has gone up, I mean, you're asking the wrong question. That's just my thought. I mean, you're going to pay higher insurance in places that you want to live in. I mean, nobody's paying crazy insurance to live in, the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
We've got beaches, we've got sunshine, we've got beautiful weather. Look at California, look at Arizona, look at anywhere where it's a second home, retiree market, a place where you want to go when you've worked hard and it's time to relax. I mean, Florida's one of those places, but you're going to pay a premium for that.
Right. So you wouldn't be looking here if that was the issue, right? If you want to be living near the beaches, the water, you're just naturally going to have higher insurance. But there is some people that are choosing to move a little more inland in Southwest Florida, where there's maybe no flood insurance. You can even get waterfront property where there's no flood insurance necessary in parts of Southwest Florida. And there's a couple ways to save on insurance too, right? If you're a homeowner, for example, you're thinking of selling, maybe, I mean, you want to make sure that roof is no older than 15 years old, right? Because then that's going to be hard to insure. Another one is flood insurance. If you have flood insurance and if it's assumable, which a lot of them are, a buyer can save thousands of dollars on insurance just by assuming the existing homeowner's flood insurance.
Mm-hmm. And then two other things that I think have been prevalent in our market, and might be in other markets too, is old electrical boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll sell multiple homes a year where they'll get flagged for an old Challenger box. Homeowners insurance will not like that. Makes it basically infinanceable. Another thing, polybutylene pipes pops up. I mean, every so often we sell a house, still got old pipes.
Right. So as a homeowner, if you're thinking of selling, know that those things could be an issue.
Especially if you've got an older home. If you've got kind of like a 60s, 70s home, could be the old copper pipes.
Mm-hmm.
If your home was built in the 90s, it could be PB or polybutylene.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Challenger boxes, I mean, that's an issue. But something that every home, I think, eventually has to get updated as time goes on.
And for all these reasons, I've seen buyers gravitate to newer homes, right? Because they have the higher elevations, insurance is less of an issue, for all these reasons, because they don't have these dated issues that insurance companies are afraid of. But it seems like out of all the markets, the one that's getting hammered right now the hardest seems to be the poor condo market. It's like almost, it seems like some condos in some parts of town are sales proof. What is going on with the condo market?
A lot of inventory. I think they are sharing their buyer pool with single-family homes. So, in single-family homes, that market's soft enough, but they're still doing better. They're still grabbing buyers away from condos. So, I think condo owners right now are in a tougher position. They're competing not just with themselves, but also the single-family homes.
But the key thing I keep hearing though is the fees. The fees are high for condos. It seems like ever since that new law came in effect in the state of Florida, due to that unfortunate, Surfside collapse on the East Coast of that condo, now there's new laws that say you got to have more frequent inspections. You've got to have reserves for replacement and repairs. There's new safety rules, especially the older buildings, and they're seeing sky high assessments and rising condo fees to build those reserves, and that seems to be a drag on the condo market to a degree.
Yeah, and I venture a guess that a lot of those new rules took into effect right around the same time Ian came through. A lot of those condos needed new roofs, needed new carports, had to repair amenities, needed to have inspections done, especially if they were coastal, after the hurricanes for structural issues and engineering. So, I think it was just bad timing. You've got one rule coming in, and then you've got a lot of associations needing money to make repairs, and then it all just kind of collided at the same moment. That's what I think. But
well, we're looking at this market here in Florida, and I was looking at a study done by Florida Atlantic University that said even with hurricanes, there was like 350 named storms over the last 125 years, and none of them have had any kind of long-term negative impact on the real estate market. Kind of amazing. Nationally, the National Association of Realtors is saying there will be 10% more sales in the U.S. potentially this year, thanks to increased housing supply, which we just talked about. And of course, the election's behind us. There's always a bump of some kind after election, no matter who wins. So what do you think the future is of the Florida real estate market?
That's the loaded question. I get that one like 2 or 3 times a day, and I still hate it. But I am forever optimistic. So I think every year I go in thinking this year's going to be better than last year, even if there's it's like blind faith. And I still think this year's got to be better than last year for that reason that you just mentioned. We're past the election. Buyers have a lot of great choices. Sellers seem willing to sell their homes. Excuse me. And so I think there's a lot of good stuff going on right now to create, like you said earlier, affordable housing opportunities for buyers, and that's going to stimulate some sales. I think until the rates really adjust, if you watch the rates, you can almost predict our market. And I think until the rates really adjust, we're going to be kind of in the same spot we were last year, this year. That's my feeling.
Well, I mean, on the upside, still, as a country, the population is moving south.
Yeah.
Florida still has a net increase last year, over 60,000 net increase in population in the state of Florida in 2024. And that's the second highest, by the way, in the nation of all states with people moving here. I saw a study that showed population in Southwest Florida is up 20% over the last 10 years. So we're still in a place where people want to be, and there's a lot of reasons, right? We got no estate tax, we got no income tax, we've got a great lifestyle, we've got a great climate. Most weeks of the year, right? 48 weeks of the year. We got job growth, so there's a lot lot of good coming our way here in the state of Florida looking forward.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. And I think everybody here who's been here for a little bit has noticed the pickup in traffic, has picked up the density in the population, has seen the growth firsthand. I mean, living here, we live and feel it every day. So, I mean, there's no doubt about it. People have been moving here, will continue moving here, and I mean, every so many years, there's a whole group or a whole generation that retires. I mean, they're generally going to Florida, Florida, Arizona, California, Texas is probably one of them. I mean, we're sharing 50 states with the retirees with, 4 or 5 states?
Yeah, yeah. So with all the things happening, we're still a place that people generally want to be, and more people are coming. So I think long-term, our future is bright here. And, if people want a slice of sunshine, this is definitely one of the few states that they're going to focus on for sure. Well, thanks, Andrew, for all your great insight on the Southwest Florida real estate market. We're going to do this again next month, and that'll be exciting because that'll be one of the peak months of season. So we'll really have a few months under our belt at that point to see how 2025 is really shaping up.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and thanks for having a lot of great stats. Hopefully our viewers, hopefully we have some viewers. This is our first one. Hopefully have many, but a lot of great stats and I think a good outlook for Southwest Florida in the real estate market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.